I know what CTE looks like. I've looked at it many a day in the eye, and it's not pretty. He was robbed of the last 15 years of his life.
These 6 NFL legends gave everything to the sport they loved, entertaining millions of fans with their incredible athletic ability and dedication. However, each of these players would lose all they earned and accumulated to deadly diseases, starting with Mike Webster. Mike Webster was a giant in football, earning the nickname Iron Mike because nothing could stop him. He played 15 seasons with the Pittsburgh Steelers, winning 4 Super Bowl championships while serving as the center, the man in the middle of every play. Over his career from high school to the pros, he took about 25,000 hits, with each one feeling like being in a car crash. When Webster stopped playing in 1990, people expected him to enjoy a happy retirement, but something was terribly wrong. He started losing his memory, feeling depressed, and acting strangely, while his mood would change without warning, and he felt pain constantly. Between 1993 and 1997, Webster had no home and sometimes lived in his car, eventually leading to his arrest in 1999 for creating fake prescriptions to get medicine that helped him think clearly. Most people believed Webster's problems were his own fault since nobody understood what was really happening inside his brain. He died on September 24, 2002, at just 50 years old from a heart attack.
The Pittsburgh Steelers' Mike Webster won 4 Super Bowls, famous, wealthy, revered. He died homeless, broke, and alone.
Mike Webster died today. A heart attack took his life at the age of 50.
Then, a doctor from Nigeria named Bennett Omalu decided to look at Webster's brain, and what he found shocked the world. Inside Webster's brain, Omalu discovered brown spots and dead brain cells, revealing that the damage looked like an old person with Alzheimer's disease, even though Webster was only 50. Omalu named this condition CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, and he published his findings in 2005, making Webster the first NFL player officially diagnosed with this brain disease. Although the NFL tried hard to say Omalu was wrong, the truth couldn't be hidden. By 2023, researchers found CTE in 345 out of 376 dead NFL players they studied, representing over 91% of examined brains, which means Webster's story changed football forever. Dwight Clark. Dwight Clark made one of the most famous plays in football history when in the 1981 championship game, he jumped high and caught a touchdown pass that sent the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl, a moment people still call the catch. He played for the 49ers from 1979 to 1987, catching passes and scoring touchdowns that made fans jump out of their seats with excitement.
New at 6, 49er fans reacting to news 49er great Dwight Clark has been diagnosed with ALS. He's remembered for one of the most famous plays in Bay Area sports history.
However, in September 2015, Clark noticed his left hand felt weak, indicating that something wasn't right. After many doctor visits and tests, doctors told him in March 2017 that he had ALS, a disease also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, which Clark believed was caused by his 3 concussions from football. ALS is a terrible disease that attacks the body's muscles, slowly causing people to lose the ability to move, walk, and even breathe. Most people with ALS live only 2 to 5 years after doctors find it, and tragically, Clark's weight dropped from 242 pounds to just 155 pounds as the disease took over his body. He died on June 4, 2018, at age 61, surrounded by his old teammates who loved him deeply. What made Clark's story even more frightening was the revelation that 3 of his old 49ers teammates from the 1960s also died from ALS, including linebacker Matt Hazeltine, who died in 1987 at age 53, running back Gary Lewis, who died in 1986 at age 44, and Bob Waters, who died in 1989 at age 50. This pattern was extremely strange because ALS is rare, affecting only 1 in 50,000 people each year. Yet scientists found that NFL players are 4 times more likely to get ALS than regular people, suggesting that the repeated hits to the head may cause the disease. Brian Piccolo. Brian Piccolo's story differs from the others but remains just as heartbreaking. He played running back for the Chicago Bears from 1966 to 1969, and although Piccolo wasn't drafted by any team, he worked hard and became a starter in 1969. He became famous for being part of the first black and white players to be roommates in the NFL, sharing a room with Hall of Famer Gale Sayers in a time when such friendships were uncommon. In late 1969, during a game against Atlanta, Piccolo started coughing badly and couldn't breathe breathe well, prompting doctors to investigate. An X-ray on November 16th showed a tumor as big as a grapefruit in his chest, leading to his diagnosis of embryonal cell carcinoma, a very rare and aggressive cancer that started in his testicles but spread to his lungs and chest. While this type of cancer can be cured 90% of the time with today's treatment, doctors in 1969 didn't have the same medicines and knowledge to fight it effectively. Piccolo underwent a long surgery to remove the tumor, then received chemotherapy and radiation, but the cancer returned with devastating force. In April 1970, doctors had to remove his entire left lung and chest muscle in a desperate attempt to save his life, yet the effort proved futile. Piccolo died on June 16, 1970, at just 26 years old, and unlike many stories on this list, his cancer had nothing to do with football, but was simply terrible bad luck. Nevertheless, a TV movie called Brian's Song told his story in 1971 and won many awards, while students at Wake Forest University, where Piccolo went to college, started the Brian Piccolo Cancer Research Fund in 1980, which has raised millions of dollars to help fight cancer and honor his memory. Ken Stabler. Ken Stabler had a nickname that fit him perfectly, the Snake, which captured his slippery playing style. He played quarterback for 15 seasons in the NFL, mostly with the Oakland Raiders, and in 1977, he led the Raiders to win the Super Bowl. He was named the NFL's most valuable player in 1974 and went to 4 Pro Bowls, while fans loved watching him play because he always found ways to win games in the final seconds.
I know what CTE looks like. I've looked at it many a day in the eye, and it's not pretty. He was robbed of the last 15 years of his life.
After football, Stabler faced 2 major health problems that would ultimately take his life. In February 2015, doctors told him he had stage 4 colon cancer that had spread throughout his body, and he died on July 8, 2015, at age 69. Because his family knew he wanted to help other players, they donated his brain to scientists at Boston University for research. In February 2016, doctors announced Stabler had high stage 3 CTE, revealing that his brain had widespread damage from tau protein, the same damage found in Mike Webster's brain. Throughout his later years, Stabler suffered from terrible headaches, got confused easily, couldn't handle loud noises, and had trouble controlling his emotions, which are classic signs of CTE affecting the brain's normal functioning. What made Stabler's case particularly significant was that he was a quarterback, not a position typically known for taking big hits. He became the first Super Bowl winning quarterback found to have CTE, demonstrating that any football player, even quarterbacks who are supposedly protected, can suffer brain damage from the sport. Junior Seau. Junior Seau was one of the greatest linebackers ever to play football, having dominated the field for 2 decades. He played for 20 seasons, mostly with the San Diego Chargers, and he went to 12 Pro Bowls and made over 1,800 tackles in his career, while fans loved his energy and the way he played with his whole heart every single game.
An NFL warrior, Junior Seau, who over a 20-year career made an estimated 1,850 bruising tackles, most of them head first.
Junior Seau!
He'd come home and just hit the blackout button in the bedroom and black the room out so he could just lay down.
After retiring in 2010, Seau started acting differently in ways that alarmed his family and friends. He experienced mood swings, felt depressed, couldn't sleep, and forgot things with increasing frequency, while in 2010, his car drove off a cliff after an argument at home, which officials ruled as an accident, though people wondered if his brain problems caused it. Then, on May 2, 2012, at age 43, Seau shot himself in the chest in a manner that seemed deliberate and purposeful. Before killing himself, he sent a 3-word text message to his 4 children and ex-wife, "I love you," which would be the last communication they ever received from him. Why did he shoot himself in the chest instead of the head? The answer reveals his final gift to science. He wanted doctors to study his brain and understand what happened to him. In January 2013, the National Institutes of Health confirmed Seau had CTE, showing that his brain had severe damage in multiple areas. The disease caused his depression and probably led to his suicide, as CTE can cause people to lose control of their actions and feel such terrible depression that they want to end their lives. Seau's death made people all over America ask serious questions about football safety, and as a result, none of his children play football anymore because his family says the risk simply isn't worth it. Steve McMichael. Steve McMichael had a nickname that made perfect sense, Mongo, reflecting his huge size and powerful presence on the field. He played defensive tackle for 15 seasons, mostly with the Chicago Bears, and he was part of the legendary 1985 Bears team that won the Super Bowl. Throughout his career spanning 213 games, he made 847 tackles and 95 sacks, which are huge numbers for his position.
In breaking news at this hour, Bears legend and Pro Football Hall of Famer Steve McMichael has died after a lengthy battle with ALS. The 67-year-old was diagnosed with that disease back in 2021. The man known as Mongo was a terrifying force on those great Bears teams.
Around 2019, McMichael started feeling weak and losing weight, though at first, doctors didn't know what was causing these symptoms. Eventually, in January 2021, doctors at Rush University Medical Center told him he had ALS, and he announced it publicly on April 23, 2021, saying he had lost 50 to 70 pounds and could no longer raise his arms or hold things. The disease moved through his body with frightening speed. By mid-2021, he needed a wheelchair, and by 2023, he couldn't get out of bed and could only communicate by moving his eyes, while he went to the hospital many times because the disease made it hard to breathe and fight infections. Ultimately, McMichael died on April 23, 2025, at age 67, succumbing to the disease that had slowly destroyed his body. Notably, McMichael's 15-year career is the longest among recent NFL players who got ALS, and scientists believe that playing longer means more hits to the head, which increases the chance of developing the disease. Fortunately, the Bears inducted him into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2024, finally giving him the honor he deserved before he passed away. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this.